All right. Well, welcome, Natasha, to the bridge. It is lovely to meet you and be in your orbit now. As is the case on the bridge, I have been graced with new friendships because of our friend in common, Ann Cosma, who was my very first guest.
Absolutely.
She was the first guest because I really couldn't even like imagine the bridge without having Ann like help frame it, right?
Right.
But welcome and just would love
Thank
to
you.
have you introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. And like I said to you earlier, any friend of Anne is a friend of mine. So
Right?
we are now attached at the
There you
hip. We're
go.
BFFs. Um,
Love it.
so yeah, really quickly, I'm Natasha Rachell. I'm the Director of Instructional Technology for Atlanta Public Schools. I have an alternative route into the field of education, and my leadership journey is a little different. I'm sure we'll talk about that. But just super excited to be here. I'm married. I have two grown kids.
Oh, how old or grown?
One is grown. The oldest, I have two boys. The oldest is 28. He's an
Oh,
accountant. And he is actually, I don't know if I should say this, but he's going to be proposing to his girlfriend in December. So super
oh my
excited.
God.
I will finally have like a daughter in my life for finally.
That's awesome.
And then my youngest son just turned 21. He's a senior at LSU. Go Tigers. And
Wow.
he's majoring in mechanical
Oh my
engineering. So
gosh.
life is good. Life is good.
Life is so good. And so, what year are you on your education journey? Like, how long have you been doing this jam?
Yeah, so I'm alternatively certified. So this is year 22 for me.
Okay.
Had I gone straight into
Uh-huh.
education after
Uh-huh.
college, I think I would have like 3 more
Okay.
years till I can retire, which is weird because I don't feel old enough
No.
to retire. Like people around me are getting ready to retire, but I don't feel old enough to retire, which is so weird. Like to think that I could be sitting on my couch in three
Oh
years,
my
but
gosh. I mean, would you really be
yeah.
sitting on your couch though?
No, we would find something to do, right?
You would start teaching teachers, is what you would do.
You know what? You're probably right. You are
Yes.
probably right.
Which we just
Yeah.
discussed, the joy of like
Yeah.
helping to shape future teachers, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about how your day-to-day, what it looks like. Because I one of the things I'll share is just like when I found out we were going to get a chance to connect and I started learning about the scale of your work. Um like it's just kind of mind-blowing to understand the impact like of innovation and change that you do and that you have to manage with so many humans and
Yeah.
impacting so many children and so many families. So, what does a day-to-day look like?
Every day is different. That sounds so cliche,
Sure.
but every single day is different. Right now, I'm doing a lot of convincing people that AI is okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that is interesting.
Yeah.
We have rolled out AI from the top down. So we got buy-in from like our leaders first, and then our school leaders, and then our teachers, and then our students. So we did it the right way, but it's just a lot of explaining and, the governance people are
Yeah.
like, hey, have we done this and have we done that? And so it's bringing all the people to the table,
Mm-hmm.
having the right conversation. So that's what I'm spending a lot of my time
Got
on right
it.
now. I will say that I feel like my days kind of operate in cycles. So,
Okay.
like the start of the new year, then we kind of roll into like the fall, which is where we are now,
Yeah.
and doing like all the AI and, a couple different things. And then when January hits, we're getting ready for our technology and innovation
Oh,
competition, our esports
fun.
competition, our film festival. So, like, that's when all of our programming hits, and that's just like a super busy season. And then summertime hits, and my team gets to go home for 3 weeks, and I get to stay at work and plan for the upcoming year. So it's like it's almost, I don't know, if you think of it like a circle,
Yeah.
and there's like the four
Yeah.
seasons, and it's so weird. Yeah. So, I mean, lots of meetings every
Yep.
day, bringing the right minds and the right people to the table to make decisions and have meaningful conversation. And my goal this year is to get out of the office and get into schools more and more and more. Like,
Mm.
I want to see it in action as much as
Mm-hmm.
possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of where we are.
So, okay, you've said this a few times. You have an alternative path. It sounds like you had a taste of another career maybe before education. Okay. And then is that the alternative path or what else? Like, unpack it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So much. Let me see if I can make this story a little shorter for you. So when I was in college, I grew up in Southern California and moved
Where
to
did you grow
Atlanta to go.
up?
I grew up in a city called Moreno
I
Valley.
know Moreno Valley.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's where I grew up.
that's
I went to Cane
amazing.
Springs High
That's
School. Go
amazing.
Cougars. Um, and loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I have a twin brother. When we were
Oh
getting ready to
gosh.
graduate, um, my parents were divorced, and my mom, she's from England. We were born in England, and she was like, "You're going to college," but really, because the education system in England is different, she didn't really know how to kind of navigate us through that, and so we kind of
Uh-huh.
had to figure that out. But we were going to college, like
Yeah.
end of the conversation. And so the Olympics we knew were coming to Atlanta a few years from
Oh.
then, and we didn't know anybody in Atlanta. And I filled out our college applications. I filled out mine and
Oh my God, I love
his.
it. What a
I
good
know for the school.
sister.
I am. What a good sister I am. So I filled out our applications for this school called Clark Atlanta University, and we got in. And then they started sending us all these pamphlets, and this is before the internet. Um, God, that sounds so old.
That is
So they started,
funny.
it is, we're old. So they started sending us all this information, and we found out about this school that was maybe a mile away, half a mile
Uh-huh.
away from Clark Atlanta, called Morris Brown. And Morris Brown would give the youngest twin, which was me, free tuition. But at Clark Atlanta, the youngest twin they paid for half the tuition. So
Oh.
just that simple piece of knowledge made us decide to go to Morris Brown.
Mm.
So went to college, majored in biology pre-med. I actually got married and had my oldest son while I was in college. So definitely a different path than, the traditional graduate,
Sure,
get a
sure,
job, get married,
sure. Yeah.
and so majored in bio pre-med. And by the time I got married and had my son, it was like, let's just hurry up and graduate.
Mm.
And so while I was in college, I was working part-time at Bath and Body Works,
Mm-hmm.
and I graduated, and my district manager said, "Hey, do you want to be an assistant manager?" And I was like, "Heck yeah, I don't have to look for a job.
Yeah,
Let's do it."
absolutely.
And I'll never forget, I was making $27,500, and I just thought I was balling out of
Right?
control. Which when you look back, I'm like, oh, how did I
Uh,
survive? Crazy. So yeah, I worked retail management for a number of years. I became an assistant manager, then a manager, and then I got recruited to Ann Taylor Loft for a year.
mm-hmm.
And so then I got pregnant with my second son, and my husband called me one day when I went back to work, and I just could hear my youngest son in the background, like screaming and crying. And he was like, "I fed him, I changed him, I just don't know what to do." And I was like, "Yeah, this isn't going to work anymore."
Oh my
Because in
gosh.
retail, the only days you're guaranteed off are Christmas and Easter.
Sure.
You could work every other day of the year, nights, weekends,
Yeah.
holidays. And so I knew I had to make a change. And so I
Yeah.
quit my job and became a substitute teacher. And there is a high school that is maybe about 3 miles from my
Mm-hmm.
house, and I would pick up jobs at that school.
Mm-hmm.
And that lasted for about 2 weeks, and then a full-time science position
Mm.
opened. And because I'm biology pre-med,
Oh,
that was my
right.
major, I was like,
Uh-huh.
maybe I could do this. Didn't know what route to take, like, had no idea. And so I saw the job was posted, and I went to the principal and I said, "Hey, I've been subbing here for like 3 weeks. I see you have this position open. Like, how do I get in?"
That's awesome.
And so I interviewed. Her name was Margie Smith. I still adore her to this day.
Oh.
She interviewed, and she sat across from me at that table, and she said to me, "I see something in you. You're going to make me proud. You're going to be my star baby."
Oh
And
my
still to
gosh.
this day, I remember that. And every time I talk to her, I just remind her of that. I
She
always
says
get
you're going to
like,
be my star baby?
"Yes, and you're
What?
going to make me proud. Like, you
Oh,
don't have an option, girl. I'm going to hire you and take a chance on you, and you're going to make me proud."
Oh my gosh.
And so she took a chance on me. And so she hired me and she said, here's some paperwork, go to the central office. You're going to enroll in the Georgia TAP program, which was a teacher alternative preparation program. And here's your teacher edition textbook. Go be great. And so I walked in the class and I was like, hey, I'm here. Had no idea how to teach.
Wow.
Um, yeah. And so that's what started it. I taught for 8 years, I think, and then transitioned into the central office into professional learning. And I actually was a transition to teaching coach for math and science for paraprofessionals that wanted to transition to teach into math or
What a
science.
perfect
Yes,
fit based on what
yes,
you
like every,
experienced. Wow.
yes, all the pieces just like have fallen together. And so I did that. That was a grant funded
Uh-huh.
program. So that lasted 2 years. And then I transitioned into Atlanta Public Schools. So I skipped districts and I started as an ed tech specialist and then became a science digital learning specialist. And for the past almost 5 years now, have been the director of instructional technology.
Wow. So how do you go? How did you get into that level of leadership though? That's what I think is really interesting, right? It's because
Yeah.
it sounds like you, well, it definitely sounds like you didn't go the traditional leadership path in education, which I didn't either.
Mm-mm.
And so super curious how that came together, how the leadership unlocked for you.
Yeah. So I had my
Mm-hmm.
bachelor's, and then once I finished my teacher preparation program, everybody, all the teachers say, well, in order to earn more money, you have to get more degrees, and so I got my master's degree in curriculum and instruction.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got my no, I got my master's degree in educational leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got my specialist in curriculum and
Got
instruction,
it?
and then I got my doctorate in organizational leadership. And so I
Okay.
definitely think,
That's
go
right,
ahead.
doctor. No, I just
Same as
want to
you?
say,
Are we the
no,
same?
no,
Oh,
I
okay.
am not a doctor. I will be one day. I'm manifesting.
Yes, you
I
will.
will.
Yes, you will. Yeah.
But love that did you see that as a key to unlock opportunity? Like more, yeah, you needed it to,
I think so.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And yeah, so the
Interesting.
school that I got my leadership certificate
Mm-hmm.
from, Georgia changed a lot of their rules like within those years that I was in that little, it was like a weird time. Like you had to be done by a certain date and
Yeah.
then, that school wasn't going to be recognized in Georgia anymore. And so
Oh,
I kind of,
interesting.
again, the puzzle pieces fell
Mm-hmm.
together. And I will say, if I just think back, the people that I've surrounded myself around have always pushed me to dream bigger and know that I'm capable of doing more. And so I think, of course, the degrees are great to have and it adds like some credibility, to different things.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think having the right people that can
Yeah.
advocate for you and speak your name in the rooms, when you're not there,
Mm-hmm.
the ones that encourage you and push you and just want to pour into you without feeling that they need something in return. I think that has probably been a bigger piece for me. Like I've always just had the right people on my
Is
side.
that something you've cultivated, or is that, yeah, okay. Is that something that kind of
Yeah.
came easily for you?
I mean, I talk to everybody. I'm a people
Sure.
person.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I mean, if you're a friend of Anne, you have to know
Right.
that, right? Like that's
Right.
just who surrounds her.
Well, and I will say the
But
moment you came on
yeah.
screen today, like I was like, you are sunshine. Like I don't even know you and you're bright and lovely and you're on screen. Like I can't even imagine.
Thank you. Well, I will say we do the strength finders in our district, and my number one strength is positivity. And so
Yay.
I always think that has something to do with it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely worked on cultivating those relationships. And I think the older, maybe at first when I first
Mhm.
started, I wasn't as intentional about it.
Mhm.
They just kind of formed. But the older, I don't want to say older, the more I've
Yeah.
matriculated through education, you definitely have to be more intentional about cultivating those relationships.
Yeah. And did that look like well, I'm trying to think like unlocking, you said like people that will advocate for you in a room that you're not in, right? Like people, so
Yeah.
so it I'm just thinking about like teachers that are in their third or their fourth year and they're like wondering what this future looks like, or if I want to get into leadership, or if I want to
Yeah.
make more money, or if I like all the things like So we've talked a lot on this podcast about like finding your people and making sure
Hmm.
you're connecting and what I love about what you're sharing is that, you know, it's finding your people, but it's also like harnessing your people, you know, and like
Yeah.
being available in for them in ways that they're available for you. That like symbiotic relationship is really important and probably I would imagine it took me many years to feel like I had
Yeah.
value to add, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I didn't know how to
Yeah.
define that.
Imposter syndrome is
Yeah.
real for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. I think when I think back on it, like when I was a first year teacher, like trying to figure it out, I
Mm.
think my second year teaching, they needed a cheerleading coach. And I was like, oh, I was a cheerleader in high school. I'll do it, sure. And then when I was going through my teacher preparation program, like I would form intentional relationships with the teachers that were teaching those courses, with my mentor that was my mentor for that program. Um, and I think like sometimes, like when I was a digital learning specialist, I remember going to my boss and saying, hey, give me more stuff. Like
Mm.
I'm ready for more. Like I
Mhm.
want to learn more. And you can't do that in every season, right? Like if you've got little kids
Yeah.
at home, or maybe you're working a second
Mhm.
job or whatever. Like I think of these, third and fourth year teachers that may not be in a season to be able to take on the
Yeah.
extra. But when you get to that season of life, and one thing my mom always used to say when we were growing up, she would say, there's never a perfect time to do anything.
Mm.
So in order for the perfect time to come, you kind of just have to make it
Mm.
happen. And so if you continuously wait, like I'm going to wait till I get married and I'm going to wait till I have kids and I'm going to wait till I finish this degree, like you're just going to be waiting and waiting and
Yeah.
waiting, and you're never going
Yeah.
to be able to, I don't want to say take on the extra, but be able to pour more into yourself to
Mm.
be able to
Yeah, and
advance.
I think too, like part of saying yes is, I mean, you know, it literally will add more to your plate, but like I also found that the more that was added to my plate, the more I said yes to stuff, the more confident I became, and the more
Yes.
like I got closer and closer to understanding what my gifts were and what my genius was
Yes.
and like how
Yes.
I could actually like add that value. And it stripped the imposter syndrome away because I started saying yes and I was like, wow, I could do that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Why not? Why not you? Like
right.
everybody has started somewhere. And just because you look at like there's some women in my life in the educational space that I work in that are doing different things. And I look at them and I'm always in awe of them. Like I
Mm-hmm.
just hold them on this pedestal. And I just, whenever I think about them, and they're so down to earth and giving and they pour into me, but I'm just like, wow, like I can't wait to be them one
Yeah.
day. And then I have to sit and remember and think, I
You
am
are
them. Like,
them.
why not me?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody sent me a text message yesterday or the day before. I was kind of talking to them about a situation, and she texted me and she said, remember who you are.
Mm.
That's all she said. And I just said, you know what? She's so right.
Mm.
I have so much to offer and so much to give.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when that imposter syndrome sets in,
Mm-hmm.
for anybody listening, remember who you are. Like you are here for a reason. Pull a seat up to the
Yeah.
table. Let your voice be heard.
Totally. And what lights your fire is going to light someone else's. Like I say that all the time like because I have this habit of presenting on things and at conferences that I've never been to before and like, oh, I'm going to a conference, great, I'm going to present. You know, like, oh, I'm not
Yeah.
exactly sure what it's about, but I'm not exactly sure the audience, but like I'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll put myself out there because that's for me the way that I find like I find my comfort, you know, is being in front of people. And I say all the time, like the smartest person in the room is the room. And I think
Yep.
if we lead with that awareness that like we are not the expert, we are just the expert learner, like that ends
Mm-hmm.
up being especially with AI. So can we talk about AI? I'm
Yes.
so like okay, I
Yes.
haven't got a
Yes.
chance to talk about AI with people on the podcast, but like you're perfect for this. So
Yes. Let's do
oh my God.
it.
I started a position at the county office in Santa Barbara in October of 22. And so literally the
Okay.
next month ChatGPT drops, right? And I'm like,
Yep.
this is what we're doing.
Yeah. I guess this is what we're doing
There
now.
you go. So what has that been like to manage? I mean, like you said, you're the one who's like, we're doing it. What's
Yeah.
that journey been like? I mean, that's a big question, but
Fascinating.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're still in
Yeah,
the
of
journey,
course, of
right?
course.
Like to think that, October 22 and here we are October of
Yeah,
25. And so like insanity. And to think like what did the world exist and look like before Chat GPT?
right.
Like I use it every single
Yeah,
day. I even find myself going to Chat GPT before I go to Google
me
now,
too. Me
which is
too. That
weird.
is interesting. Uh-huh.
Fascinating. Yeah. So at the district level, I think we were just super intentional. Like when ChatGPT came out and everyone was like, what is
Hmm.
it? I don't know that we had like Gemini and Copilot just yet. The ed tech companies hadn't started infusing it in yet. So we just knew
Yeah,
ChatGPT. And, of course, if you don't work in this space, you think, oh, it's just, it's the new cheating
right.
thing. Kids are going to cheat. Well, kids were cheating before
Thank you.
ChatGPT, and they're going to cheat after
Thank you.
ChatGPT. So, there's that. But I remember going to our information technology chief, and I said, "Hey, what are we doing? Like, what are your thoughts? Because I want to leave it on. Like, what are you thinking?" And he said, "We're absolutely leaving it
Oh,
on."
interesting.
He said, "If we are going to create global citizens that can compete at a global level, we have to be able to teach them how to use this ethically and
Hmm.
responsibly." That's all I needed to hear. Like I was like, green light, let's
Yeah.
go. And so we started training our central office leadership, everybody from the superintendent, cluster superintendents, our central office staff. So we got them on board, super excited. And you still have people that are hesitant,
Yeah.
right? Like they think Chat GPT is stealing your information or
Yeah.
whatever.
And maybe it
Um,
is, right? Like we're figuring it out.
yeah, yeah. So you just have to be
Yeah.
careful again about what you put
Right.
in, right? Um, and so we started with them. And then summer leadership 2 years ago, we trained all of our principals and assistant principals. And what I love when you train these people on AI, like the light bulbs that just, oh my gosh, I put this in and look what it gave me. And like it's amazing. I
Yeah.
love that,
Yeah.
those light bulb teachable moments.
Uh-huh.
And so we know I mean, it's a fact. AI will make your productivity, I mean, just increase
Hmm.
and skyrocket through the roof. We know that it can be a tutor for students that need it. We know that it can level the playing field. And so when I think about our students that go to school and then come home and there's not a parent there because the parent may be working a job at
Yeah.
night or maybe they just don't know, right? Like I can think of my kids in high school coming to me for help with math and I'm like, dude, I don't know. It's like, go Google
Yeah.
it. I have no idea. So AI is able to serve as that on time, level the playing field tutor. So you have parents that can afford to go get tutors and do all these things. And then we have parents that can't. And so we know that it levels the playing field. And so we trained our principals, our APs, our teachers, and our students. We've got Gemini, we've got Copilot, Magic School, Brisk. I mean, we have jumped in. So
Mm.
it is here and it's not going anywhere.
Hmm.
And whenever I meet hesitant people, I was just talking to one of our communications people a couple weeks ago. He was like, now what am I doing with this? And I was like, okay, take a breath. I was like, here's some use
Yeah.
cases. Here's some ways that you could use it. And he said, well, kids are just going to cheat. And I said, this is no different than when a calculator came
Yep.
out and when Google came
Mm.
out. We navigated through it, we put things in place, and now look at us. So that's kind of how we've navigated it. Huge on ethics,
Yeah.
huge on
Yeah.
responsibility. And the one thing I'll kind of leave with this, we are very intentional about saying, whatever you put in as a human, whatever you put into AI, you're going to put your human content. I need you to do A, B, and
Mm.
C. Then it's going to give you the AI component. You always have to follow up with that human component on the end.
Mm. Like a
It's like that
human sandwich.
a human sandwich. You have to because you have to make sure it's
Yeah.
reliable, right? And you got to make sure that it's giving you what you want.
Yeah. That and
So,
and that is so empowering. And I think that people are quick to think that that the technology is going to strip the power away from the human. But I find it's the exact opposite. Like I have found that my ideas are a little sharper, and that I
Yeah.
when you learn how to prompt and when you learn how to be the
Yes.
human in the loop and how to
Yeah.
be in charge of the machine, then you kind of harness it. And that is what
Absolutely.
that's and it's hard to explain that when people haven't had
Hmm.
experience. And that's
Yeah.
like I'm currently working at the University of Phoenix, and we serve a totally unique student population, and we are
Hmm.
do- we are heavily invested in being at the forefront of AI in higher
Yeah.
education, and which is
Hmm.
exciting and great. And we're always talking about career skills and getting
Hmm.
career ready and getting our I mean many of our students are already in careers, and they're looking to like
Yeah.
upskill. And so what does upskilling look like with AI, and what is
Right.
like, how do we leverage it to like expedite the learner experience? And yet, for the first 3 years of my time in AI, I've been focused on, hey, teachers, you still know children, you still know their brains,
Yeah.
how students develop. Like, don't forget that. Just because AI is here
Yeah.
doesn't mean we don't forget that, like, probably third graders don't need to be in it very deeply, because like
Right.
their brains aren't
Right.
there. like,
Right.
like
Right.
take a beat. Like, remember
Yeah.
that you are the experts in child development and in
Remember
pedagogy.
who you are.
And don't let
Remember who you
that's
are.
it. I think it can be as simple as that.
Yeah.
And
The teacher will always be the expert. Like,
right,
no technology, AI or otherwise, is going to replace a good teacher in the classroom.
right.
I'm a firm believer in that. We will
Yeah,
always need that expert teacher in front of our
yeah.
kids.
I mean, that's what makes you good at what you do, because you're driving the innovation and change with technology, but then you're also so grounded in like the force of the teacher in the room and the power of
Yeah,
human relationships, and like
absolutely.
that's not to be forgotten. And it's so interesting. I've
Right.
learned about different school models that are I don't know if you're familiar with the alpha school model.
Yes.
Kind
Yeah.
of interesting. So just
Yeah.
like quick summary, it's basically leveraging AI to do the direct instruction and like hard skill development for a portion of the day, and then the students are there focusing on passion projects and experiential learning in for the majority of the school day. Which I look
Hmm.
at that and I'm like, I can't wait to watch what happens here. Like, I
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I know that what
Right.
we have currently in our traditional system isn't really working. So, not for
I
everyone. So
know.
I'm
I know.
like I
Yeah.
appreciate that we're shaking it up. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
We're definitely at a crossroads in education for sure.
Yeah.
The narrative, and I hate to keep harping on COVID as the reason why, because COVID happened to the whole world. It
Yeah.
didn't just happen to us here in Georgia or to the United States. Like, it
Yeah.
happened everywhere.
Yeah.
So I do eventually want us to stop saying like, well, COVID caused,
Mm.
and maybe it did, but like,
Mm.
let's get on the other side of that.
Mhm.
So I do feel like we're at this crossroads because there's this narrative that a lot of our students are not reading on grade
Mhm.
level. Math is like a huge thing
Mhm.
across the country. Um, and so there is a need to shake it up and figure it out. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens
Yeah.
here. But we do know that kids have to learn their
Yeah.
ABCs. They have to learn how to read and
Mhm.
write. They have to learn common sense, things that
Mhm.
we teach. But I'm very curious to see, because developing like those skills and having that experiential learning opportunity,
Yeah.
I think is just going to be amazing. So I
Totally.
don't know. It's
I,
weird.
I
Yeah.
know, and I think about like sitting in a classroom where I'm struggling with a concept and the person next to me gets it, and like the
Yeah.
what happens like socially and emotionally when I'm needing to ask for help from somebody else and that person helps me versus a computer adapting to my learning strengths. Like, I
Yeah.
would miss that in a model similar. So I don't
Yeah.
know. They obviously they're figuring it out too, but I don't know. It's time for us. I think this is just a great opportunity for us to like ask those hard questions of our systems and go, we
Hmm.
know we need to shift things up, so where can we shift?
Yeah.
And I guess this is where this kind of leads to my final question for you, which is, in light of all of the innovation and from your perspective, all of the tools you mentioned too, like the opportunities that are out there, what advice would you offer educators that are in this career, they've committed to doing this, and they have the overwhelm that we know they feel with all of the new? Like, do you have what would you say to them?
Yeah, I think what I would say is those of us that are on kind of the other
Mm-hmm.
side of the education career, we need people to take our places. We're
Mm-hmm.
we're years away from retirement or whatever that looks like. And so education is still an amazing field
Mm-hmm.
to be in. Are you in it for the money? Probably not, right? You could be, but
Probably not.
um, probably not, but you are in it for the right reasons. Like you are shaping minds, you are forming relationships with students that literally last a lifetime.
Yeah.
I've been invited to weddings and baby showers, and
Oh.
people still talk about things that we did in class. And so you don't get
Oh.
that from anywhere else, right? Every career, no matter what career it is in this world, goes through a teacher.
Yep.
And so that's a huge responsibility. The advice that I would give, two pieces of advice. One is going to be to just jump out, take risks, and say yes. Don't be afraid. Like if you are given an opportunity, say yes and then figure it out. Even if you don't know what it is, right?
Love that.
Like jump in and then figure it out later. Surround yourself with people that can help you do that. But don't not take an opportunity because you feel, intimidated or scared or whatever, because there's never going to be a right time. So say yes and do the thing. The second piece of advice that I'm going to offer is to create an executive board. And this is something that I learned much, much, much too late in my career. But you need to form an executive board. And on your executive board, you're going to surround yourself with 7 different types of people. You're going to have a mentor. This is somebody with more experience than you in your field. You're going to have a sponsor. That's someone who is in a position of influence that will advocate for you, even when you're not
Mm.
there. You're going to have a challenger who pushes you to grow. So sometimes, like, this is a person that's going to tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. A peer coach that's going to be your trusted, colleague or friend, that can give you real-time support. You're going to need a connector. That's someone who knows a lot of people and a lot about everything. I think Anne is a great connector
Yes.
because she connects, right? Like she's just so good at that.
So good.
Yeah, you need a visionary. That's who's going to help you dream bigger and think bigger. And then you need an accountability partner. So this is a person that's going to hold you to your goals and check in and have you done
Mm.
this. And once you have those 7 people sitting at your table, like you're golden.
Okay,
You are golden.
where was this framework in my life? Where has this been? It's beautiful. I hear
I'm telling
it's
you.
it's so concrete because we say a lot, find your people, which I find your people, but to
Yeah.
actually have like these personas in mind, like as you
Yeah.
were talking, I'm sitting here going, ooh, I need that one.
Right. And you may have people that serve in, like, there's 2 women, it's the 3 of us, and we actually call ourselves the executive
I love
board.
it.
But we're all in education and we bounce ideas off of
Yeah.
each other. We present our problems and our nuances, and
Mm,
to have different perspectives to help you work through different things, especially as you get higher up in
yeah.
leadership, is so important.
Yeah.
It's so, so important. And so you can have those whether you're a 30-year educator or a first or second year educator. And you may not have all 8. You
Right.
may have, 3 people that kind of fit all of those 8 things. But it's important that you have those people to lean on, to bounce ideas off of, to vent
Yeah.
to, because I don't know about you, but my husband doesn't work in education, and
Mm-mm.
coming home to vent to him about education, like he just doesn't get it.
Yeah.
So it's important that you have people that get it and can give you different perspectives.
That is such a gift. Is this your framework?
No,
Well,
it is not my framework. Well, kind of. Well, let me say that it's mine and ChatGPT's framework. We
thank you.
collaborated on it together.
Okay.
We did. I put what I needed and it gave me
I just
that.
love it so
And everybody that
much.
I talked to about it is like, it's so simple, right? But it's
Yeah.
so
Are
impactful.
you writing a
So I've just been
book?
sharing it
Are you
everywhere.
going to turn that
Oh
into
my,
a book, my friend? That is a book.
do you know that is a dream of mine is to write a book. It is so funny that you just said that. Like this has
Hmm.
been weighing on me. So I just
Girl,
gave all this advice about say yes and do it and take the risk.
I know
Um,
people. We know
yeah,
people.
I
Let's
know.
keep that
I would love to.
conversation
I would
going.
let's do it. Hold me accountable.
I'll
Hold
be
me
because
accountable.
you just described like chapters of your book and like I
Yeah.
would have that book on my shelf because that
Oh,
is it's grounding, it's concrete, it's
yeah.
actionable, you know, like it's
Yeah.
empowering and in a way that like find your people kind of leaves you hanging, especially that we don't have Twitter
Yeah.
anymore to find them so easily. Or I don't
I
I'm not
know.
on
I
Twitter
know.
anymore.
We still are for work,
Yeah,
but yeah.
yeah, but it's not the same, I think, as it
Yeah.
was, you
It's
know,
not.
eight
It's
years ago,
not.
9 years ago. So,
Right.
um,
Right.
okay, well, next podcast will be your book debut. I'm just kidding. We will keep talking about this because
We're best friends now. Of course
obviously,
we are.
you really are just like I feel so wonderful and lighter and empowered talking to you. So
Oh,
thank you for giving me that, and
thank
I'm
you.
so grateful that we got the time to connect and that we're now orbiting together. And
Absolutely.
yeah, just I mean, keep doing what you're doing. It's working.
You too. You too. I commend you for there is a space to bridge, no pun
Mm-hmm.
intended.
Mm.
Maybe it is pun
Mm-hmm.
intended, to bridge newer teachers and experienced educators
Yeah,
together because we need them to stay in the
we
profession.
do.
We need them. My dissertation was about teacher attrition and the importance
There
of
we
recruitment and
go.
retention. And so we need them to we
Yeah.
need you guys. Don't jump
Don't
ship
jump
and go
ship.
somewhere else. We need you.
Yes. And our
So
system,
thank you for doing what you're doing.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It is truly my love letter. And I thank you for being you.
Thank
Until next time,
you.
my friend.